The following is an episode of the Brian Brawdy Show, and listener discretion is strongly advised. Because if you're easily triggered, outraged, offended, maligned, mortified, insulted, or otherwise verbally injured, if you're constantly looking for a bubble, a safe space, some training wheels, or some water wings muffin to get through your day, take it up with a therapist. I'm not your shrink.
Thanks for listening to the Brian Brawdy Show. It's time to mortal up.
Evening once again. Welcome to the Brian Brawdy Show. A show so big I didn't even have time to shave today. We're even running around trying to get ready because there's so much breaking news, so many cool things going on. You know my belief. Hey, Miss Putnam, nice to see you. Thank you so very much for joining us. And for the share, thank you so very much. That was very nice. You know, my belief, this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive. Why? Because politicians are blundering left and right. So when we say, hey, are you ready? That's tonight's show. We'll be tying that in towards our Mortal Up Minute, which we're going to get to towards the end of your hour. Are you ready? Because there's some big things coming down the pike. Whoever wins the election, right? There's some big things getting ready to happen. And I just love it. I love watching the media, just everybody. You know, I had someone else tell me today, well, if that person votes for this one, or if that person votes for that one, I'm cutting them out of my life. And I think to myself, how is it possible? How is it possible that we let politicians and politics and political parties be front and center in our lives? I put up a tweet a little earlier today, this just in, which, let me say this, Wayne. Everyone should know by now, if you see me do a this just in or breaking news, pretty sure it's anything but breaking news, right? It's just my attempt to go, yeah, well, it doesn't surprise me. This is what should be happening. But I put up a little tweet earlier, or a post earlier, and I tweeted it, LinkedIn, you know, all the usual suspects. Judge ACB bored with the vapid questions and launched at her by even dumber senators during her confirmation hearing, is rumored to be playing Sudoku under her desk, right? The other day they said, hey, would you show us your notepad? There was nothing on it, right? What she didn't show you was the second page was Sudoku. She was doing the math in her head, Wayne. And why I think that's terribly important, it shows you how vapid, how absolutely imbecilic some of these career and elected politicians can be. And it's fascinating to me. Well, I'm a U.S. senator, damn it. Like, that's supposed to mean something, right? You've been on the lam. You've been in the Senate for how long? Especially if you're one of the senior members, which just shows you can't do anything else for a living, or you choose not to do anything else for a living. You're a grifter. You're a scam king or a scam queen. And before we get into it, Wayne, I happened to hear a little clip today. I don't know if you did. Anyone else listening, I don't know if you did. Let me say hello to Candace. Candace, peace right back at you. Did anyone see Nancy Pelosi and what's his name? Wolf, the boy who cried, Wolf Blitzer, over at the Circus News Network, going absolutely nuts, taking off on each other? It was great TV. Absolutely great TV. But here's one of the things that was so interesting today was that she's just now, forget about her religious views, forget about her political views. Just look at her as a brilliant woman, right? Just a brilliant woman. And she was a brilliant professional, grounded in the fact, just absolutely stunningly smart, mopping the floor with some of these senators. It's unbelievable. And these are the people that we elect, right? These are the people that we elect to represent us. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, this lady, now she's the sharpest knife in the drawer, and she's just cutting these people up left and right. And it just makes you wonder, Wayne, you know what I mean? We seem to elect the dumbest people in our country. And I mean the dumbest people.
And then,
And by the time, right?
then everybody wonders why we have the problems we have.
And then everyone wonders. And then you get these career politicians, these career grifters, right? Interested in whatever it takes to get power and maintain power. Well, you see this ACB, she just mopped the floor with them. It was great. So, Wayne, what's going on with you today? Like I said in the tease, we got all kinds of things to get to. I know you've been working around the clock since last we spoke. Give me an idea. What are some of the things you're thinking about as we get ready to kick off?
Well, first off, I was kind of curious to how your insect problem was doing over there.
The grub wars?
The grub wars.
Yeah, what were you thinking about? I'm glad. Thank you. Misery loves company. Thank you for thinking about me. Yeah, all day again, I was raking and putting down dirt and poison and everything else. So it was, chemicals. I don't want to say poison, but that's what it is. But putting down the chemicals to make sure we could try to grab back some space.
But you do know there's a better way to do this.
Oh, what calling an airstrike?
Well, I was thinking about some stuff today.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hang in there a second.
All right.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. It smells like victory.
The Godfather, by the way. I love Robert Duvall, and I love the smell of napalm in the morning. I love the smell of whatever this ortho bug grub be gone or whatever we're using now. It smells like victory, and I'm loving it. But you know what's pretty cool about it, Wayne, is I'm getting a great workout. The weather's been nice. I'm getting some push-ups in. I'm getting some planks in. I'm getting all kinds of burpees and squat thrusts. I'm having to carry these 40-pound bags of soil over my head. So it is a great workout without having to head indoors. So thank you so very much. I super appreciate it. Thank you for thinking of me. What else is going on in your world today?
I don't know. I mean, you got the Hunter Biden emails.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get to that here in a little bit.
You got Barrett being asked about her sex life.
Ooh, okay. Well, there you go.
You got Facebook and Twitter at it again.
Oh, Mug, Pamphlet, and Spitter.
Yep.
So you were going to go over what they're up to.
Yep.
All right.
We sure
Well,
are.
you got to love them. Mug, Pamphlet. Shh. Just in case they try to cancel us. Some of their fact checkers may not be, well, we know they're not smart enough, but they may not realize what Mug, Pamphlet stands for, right? Spitter, who cares what their checkers are doing? We never get any love over on Spitter. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I don't know if you want to go to the news first, or do you just want to go to the lowlifes first?
Let's go to tomato today. What do you say? Let's hit lowlifes making headlines before we run to the 10-minute break. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. Where do they got to head to vote for either Hunter or Hirono?
All they've got to do is go to mortalup.com, Brian Brawdy Associates, brianbrawdy.com, any one of them, and they can sit down on the main page. About halfway down, we have that little poll where they can make their choice.
I think she's crazy. I got to be honest with you. Hunter Biden, it's just criminal if you believe some of the things that are going on. And that's, here, can I just tell you a little bit from being an ex-cop?
Sure, but just remember.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, right. It's 10 after. All right. Wayne's giving me the finger. 1 minute. Let's do this, and then I'll tell you something about being an ex-cop. All right.
Celebrity voices impersonated. That's amazing. It's uncanny. It sounds just like me.
You know what I wanted to do for celebrity voice impersonations tonight? Tommy Lee, and I guess he was a rock star, Tommy Lee. I don't remember much about him, but Tommy Lee says he plans on leaving the country if Trump is reelected. I think we should start a GoFundMe page. Tommy Lee, you're a wash-up. You're a has-been. Why don't you, and who's some of the other ones? Alec Baldwin? He would be a great one. And there's a couple other people that are making, I'm sure, Cher, she wants to leave. Maybe they could rent, since they're so green coordinated and so worried about saving the environment, maybe they could rent a jet and they could all leave together. So for the celebrity voice impersonator tonight, I was just going to take the sound of a baby crying. Wah, 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 wah. If I don't get my way, I'm going to take my name and go home. Tommy Lee says, I'll go back to my motherland. See you. And if we could cue, if I knew how to do sound effects, Wayne, it'd be the sound of a screen door slamming, not to catch him in the tuchus on the way out. Okay, but I digress. So here's the scoop. Head on over to mortalup.com, radiobride.com if you're into that, and vote tonight. Hunter Biden. And the real story here, Wayne, is I got to tell you, they're welcome. Everyone's welcome to vote. Who do you think is tonight's low lifes making headlines? Hunter Biden, right? Or Hirono, for her just horrendous Hirono. That's the nickname. Horrendous Hirono, however you pronounce it. Tomato, horrendous Hirono. And her questions to, her questions to open up, have you ever sexually harassed anybody? And then Hunter Biden. But the real thing is that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter, apparently, you were telling me earlier, Wayne, and all kinds of people are texting me, emailing me, calling me, with sending me message on Mug Pamphlet saying, well, they're stomping down sharing this report. So, there you go. Facebook, Twitter, reduced distribution of report on purported. And I think purported Hunter Biden emails is fair, right? It's just purported now. No one, right? You're innocent until proven guilty. I know not a lot of people in this country like to believe that, but you're innocent until proven guilty. Oh, unless you're a member of the Biden bus tour. And then, then you're always innocent no matter what you do. But the real news is that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are doing what they can to throttle this story. So, Wayne, what's going on behind this story? Tell me a little bit about this. I was busy, as you know, doing Grub Wars today, and my phone was lighting up about this has happened. But what's the breaking news that everyone's trying to cover up? At least in big tech, everyone's trying to cover up about Hunter Biden. Really? All right, well, let's look at it this way. Whatever the information is, it's got to be so big that Mug Pamphlet, almost slipped there, in case any censors are listening, that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter don't want anyone talking about it. Shh, shh. Which I have to tell you, and this is what I was going to say before we ran to the little celebrity impersonation thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you. That everyone's trying to cover it up. Everyone's going, shh, shh, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Can I be honest with you? That makes me think he's guilty. Why would everyone and their brother be in that position? I don't get it. Why would they be saying, hey, don't talk about this. Don't talk about it. If the story was he has pink hair, Shane says, guess it was just me, LOL. Candace Johnson says connection. So I'm sorry if anyone's having a hard time hearing. Oh, which would be a good time for me to thank everybody on Twitter, on Facebook. We don't know what happened to Wayne, but on Twitter and Facebook and over at, YouTube for listening to the show live. And of course, if you're catching the show in podcast, in the rebroadcast form over on a Radio Bry, or you're catching us on Spotify or iHeart or iTunes, thank you so very much. We super appreciate it. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and share. Tell some people what you're thinking about. We super appreciate that as well. So until we, you're back?
Yep.
All right. So what's with everything going on today? Let me say hello to Shane. Shane, thank you for joining us. No one can tell me that Daddy didn't help him with the connections. Oh, I see what you're saying, Candace. You're absolutely right. I think that's absolutely the case. So what's the story, Wayne? What is it that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are trying to shut everybody down with?
Well, basically what it boils down to is the person at Facebook who made the decision to block the New York Post article.
Ooh, New York Post. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is basically a New York Post article.
All right.
The person who did, he was former member of the Biden team.
Get out.
Yeah.
So he's like Scully.
Yep.
Steve Scully. Yeah. Oh, no, nothing to see here.
Except he's an
All
executive
smoke and
at
mirrors, no
Facebook.
connections. Ah. So now they're saying, oh, you can't look here. Look away. Look away. Thank you, Candace. As you know, Candace is one of our field executive producers. Motley Crue rocks. So Tommy Lee was in Motley Crue. Very good to know. They even drove their manager crazy. Very nice. So Tommy Lee, I thought he had something to do with David Lee Roth. That shows you how much I'd never listened to any of that. All right. So the big story is that Mug Pamphlet and Spitter are trying to stomp down a New York Post article that said what? Well, what I still don't understand, Wayne, was what was in the article. I get that no one wants you looking at it.
That's what you're looking at.
What?
Apparently there's some emails from Ukraine, from I guess
Ukraine.
it's Burzma.
Okay. All right.
Back to Hunter Biden.
Ooh.
Thanking him for the meeting that he set up with Joe Biden.
No.
Yes. And Joe Biden has basically been saying all along, I've never met this person. I've never talked to this person. And apparently there's a bunch of emails out there that just came in.
Wow. No wonder a lot of these people try to have emails on different servers, right?
I don't know.
Now, before everyone starts screaming about Hillary Clinton, I'm just saying anyone who goes, oh, yeah, I got to have an email on another server, right? Because it seems like email only comes back to get you in trouble.
Well, according to Rudy Giuliani, he has a whole hard drive of emails from Hunter Biden.
Giuliani does?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, again, this is the greatest time in the history of the world to be alive, the way this is going to unfold. And look, here's the thing. And people say to me all the time, well, we never knew how you fell politically, or we always thought this or that. I feel bad for Joe Biden. He's having a difficult time mentally. I feel bad for him. I got nothing bad to say about him in that regard. But if they find out that Hunter has been, doing some sneaky stuff, that's got to blow back on the campaign. But the big thing, can I just tell you here in 60 seconds or under, Wayne, the big thing for me is Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris, did she ever get to single-digit percentages when she was running for president?
She stayed in single digits.
She stayed in single digits. Good thing, because single rhymes with snarky. I don't like her. I don't think that anyone in this, if she was the greatest thing since sliced bread, she'd be the official candidate. And I think there's something to it when both her and Joe Biden slipped and said, oh, the Harris-Biden campaign. I believe there's something to it. I just don't trust her, right? Just some of the things that she's done in the past, saying that she hung out smoking bongs, listening to different rap artists that weren't even published rap artists at the time. But forget about that. Suppose that you say, oh, we're hanging out doing bongs, but then you make a career out of putting people in jail for doing bongs. It's just not honorable. It's just not right. And if you're thinking to yourself, again, my conspiracy theory, dun, 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 dun. My conspiracy theory, here it is. The reason that Nancy's busy trying to turbocharge the 25th, 1 minute, turbocharge the 25th, is she's not going to use it against Trump. She wants to use it against Joe Biden, right? She wants to use it against Disco Joe. Because if that means Kamala Harris becomes president, Kamala gets to pick whoever she wants. And I think she plans on picking Nancy Pelosi. All right, so let's do this. We're going to run to a quick little thing, and let's do it, Wayne, and then we'll be back. I'll take a quick sip.
Portions of this broadcast have been pre-recorded.
Why? Because you can't get these people to hit a call time. They're the worst. Nah, I'm just kidding. We love our guests.
All right, in the break, I got a little bit of a thank you to shout out to everyone following us on Twitter, watching the show tonight. Thank you very much. If you know the format, we're going to run to the bottom of the hour here, and when it gets here, we'll be opening the phone lines, but you're welcome to text me. They come right in here to the monitor. 833-MORTAL, MORTAL 1, 833-MORTAL 1, or of course you can use the hieroglyphics, the chicken scratch, 833-667-8251. Maybe just like the presidential election, you want to get in some early voting, right? There's nothing that says you can't text me with your vote. And just like in regular elections, I guess now, Wayne, you can send in your ballot, right? You get a ballot, you can send it in. But other than your word, there's nothing that prevents you. There's no safety, no security around you filling out a mail-in ballot and then heading over to the booth and voting as well.
Maybe we should just send out,
you know what I mean?
Maybe we should just send out the poll to everybody.
Oh, there you go. We could do that. Yeah. But here's the thing. If you want to text us and get in early, we'll be just like a regular general election. Instead of going over to mortalup.com, you can get in early, vote. Let us know. Hunter Biden, and right, is there enough suggestion and impropriety that we should look into this further? I say yes, damn it, because if not, why would Mug Pamphlet and Spitter be doing everything they can? Why would they be doing everything they can to squelch the story? Methink thou dost protest too much, little Billy Shakespeare would have said. Technically, that's not fair. It was big Billy Shakespeare, right? Methink thou dost protest too much. That's why they're trying to block the story. But even if you let the story go, even if you say, we don't want any stories on Biden's mental health, we don't want any stories about criminal connections to the Biden family, we should be focusing on Kamala Harris. If she's the greatest thing ever, why did she never get out of single digits? Look, I think that Gabbard from Hawaii stuck around longer than Kamala Harris. If she's such a great pick, why didn't she make it through the primaries, Wayne? That's all I'd like to know.
I have no idea. I haven't been able to figure that one out myself.
Shane says, do I have to register to vote? No, Shane, you can vote early. You can vote often. You can text us. You can head over to Mortal Up. Candace says, I keep saying they're just using Joe. Yeah, poor Joe. He doesn't even know if they are, but I'm with you. Rudy is Trump's lawyer. Makes sense. He's got crap on people. All right, Shane. So Shane is implying that because he's Trump's lawyer, not to mention the fact that he comes from New York City, right? The former mayor of New York. He's got briefcases full of stuff. Here's the thing. Whoever's got it, let's just have the truth. If you got the goods on any politician, any of these rock stars that you see, right, just running the show, stealing all the thunder on the national level, any of these rock stars, let's have the information. Let's let truth. I know this is weird, Wayne, but what do you say we let truth taint the process? Forget about the cult of personality.
We can't do that.
Oh, no, we can't say that. We can't let truth get in it. I'll tell you something else about Mug Pamphlet and Spitter. What's so infuriating, if you could be infuriated by this stuff, right? Because you just got to laugh how stupid people are, right? How big tech's trying to take over and everyone's just falling for it, right? How gullible we've become as a people, how gullible at times we are as individuals. But the real thing for me is that they're trying to pull the wool over our eyes because they think they can. It's insulting. They water down human wherewithal because we lead them to believe that they can get away with it. It's a scam. And all you have to do is watch these confirmation hearings and you wonder why these people, why aren't they Uber drivers? Well, probably because they couldn't figure out the acumen of the GPS on their phone. I get that. I know what you're saying. That makes perfect sense. All right, here we go. We got one coming in. Real journalism is dead. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and throw that out. Even though I've got great friends that are journalists, some real, well, you can't even say real because they're not real journalists. Voodoo journalism is alive and well, but I know some journalists that are honorable people that get out there every day to try to crack the code, find the story. But I'm with you in terms of voodoo journalism is alive and well, right? Because it's just a popularity contest. right? Everyone wants, follow me on Twitter. Do this, do that. It's just a popularity contest. They try to see what they can say. They try to break the news. Little Jimmy Accosted over at the Circus News Network, right? Joy Reid over at MSNBC, right? You pick your one at the New York Crimes. You pick your favorite author at the Washington Compost, right? It isn't about journalism anymore with some of these people. It's about playing gotcha. Well, I don't care about the cult of personality. Well, I don't care. What I like is the policy. I like is the platforms. What are you going to vote for? And I don't think Kamala Harris, in terms of some of the people that track this stuff, is considered, Wayne, I don't know if you knew this, Kamala Harris is considered to be more liberal. You ready for this? Drum roll. Considered to be more liberal than Bernie Sanders. She co-sponsored AOC's new Green Deal bill. Where's that money going to come from? Our taxes. And what's it going to do? Ruin what we've worked so hard to build. So that's the thing. Don't pick on poor Joe. It's just his handlers. It's his script writers, right? He's an old guy. Let him go. Let him retire. Let him enjoy the rest of his life, right? If his son's dirty, the FBI will get him. If his son's dirty, if there was some type of collusion, if there was some other thing that's going to go on, the FBI will nail him. Let him go. Let's let the truth out. But as far as the deal breaker for me with that the whole ticket is Kamala Harris. I can't figure it out. The Green New Deal is not going to help us. Shane says there's no money in releasing all the truth. You wait until politician A is doing good that someone doesn't like, then you dump it out and ask for money to keep it quiet. It's all about power and money. Shane, I absolutely agree. Janice, right back at you. Hello. What about Falcon Trainer? What about it, Candace? Hello, Janice. Nice to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the Brian Brawdy Show. All right, so we're getting ready to run. We're running a minute behind getting started today because of all the big breaking news and most certainly we were just rocked here in the studio, as I know you were, to learn that Tommy Lee, which every time I hear Tommy Lee, I think Tommy Lee Gifford, but that's not Tommy Lee Gifford. What's the name of that woman who used to be on TV? Something Gifford. She married Frank Gifford. Who was that lady? Does anybody know? You let me know here.
Is it Kathy Lee?
What? Kathy Lee Gifford. Right. Every time I see Tommy Lee, I think Tommy Lee Gifford. Well, in any event, we were running a little behind tonight because I'm sure, like you're just heartbroken knowing that Tommy Lee will be leaving the country. If President Trump is reelected. So now, Cher, Alec Baldwin, any chance they could get Joy Behar from The Purge? What's that show called? What does she do in the mornings? 2 minutes out. All right. What does she do in the mornings? The View. Oh, so Joy Behar from The Spew. Any chance they could save a couple seats on that plane, take her with it? Kathy Lee Gifford. Yes. Shane, thank you very much. Tommy and Pamela had a film. Oh, right. Thank you, Candace. Never saw the film, but I heard a ton about it. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to run to the bottom of the hour. And when we get back, we're going to open up the phone lines right away. Don't forget, you can text us as well. But let's do this, and we will be right back.
You're listening to The Brian Brawdy Show. Why? Because you know the truth when you hear it. He'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Brian Brawdy Show, brought to you by our good friends at Counterpunch Media and Certifiable Brilliance. It's time to buckle up. Oh Yeah, that's right. I always forget. I should thank the good folks at Counterpunch Media. Thank you for everything, and thank you for being a sponsor of the show, as well as Certifiable Brilliance. I promise next week. And Wayne, maybe before we open the phone lines, this will be a good time to make mention of some of the programming things that we have coming up. Before we do that, but I need to thank the people at Certifiable Brilliance as well. Thank you so very much. So I've mentioned it, and this will be the last time I mention it because some people are around to kind of counsel us and go, let's not talk about syndication. Let's not talk about Sirius until it happens, right? Just like don't talk about the registered trademark until it's official, until you sign the contract, until the ink's dry. You don't want to jinx yourself, right? So I'm absolutely with that. But to that end, believe it or not, we have our fingers on the pulse. We pay attention to things going on in the industry. We pay attention to the trends, if you will. And I don't know if you know this. I was most certainly shocked, Wayne, but I was stunned to find out that the new morning drive time, because everyone's under lockdown, is not the morning drive time anymore. That the number one time slot to have for radio, not a TV slot, right? Not a TV slot, but the number one time slot for radio is noon Eastern, noon East Coast time, right? And then I think what they do is you move across the country, they rebroadcast. So you can tune in at 11 your time if you live in one of the other, or 10 or 9 if you live in one of the other time zones. But noon Eastern is the number one time for radio. So Wayne, why don't we do this? Let's, speaking of call-in radio, let's go ahead, open up the phone lines, and then we'll kick this around when we come back.
The phone lines are open. Now's your chance to mortal up and give Brian a shout because your opinion deserves to be heard. Dial toll-free 1-833-MORTAL-1. That's 833-MORTAL-1.
You're damn right your opinion deserves to be heard. Who are we, mug pamphlet or spitter, trying to throttle your opinion back? That said, probably a little time for a disclaimer. Shane, when we talk about Tommy and his history of drug use, we could probably blindfold him and drive him to the next state, and he'd think he had left the country, given all the craziness going on in Michigan where there was a coup, a plot. There's some things underfoot to kidnap Alyssa Milano, a.k.a. Gretchen Whitmer, and then they were also going to kidnap, boy, what a party that would have been, kidnap the Ralph guy from the governor of Virginia, I believe it is. So we should probably say, Shane, we are not, hard no, right? Full stop, drop the mic. We are not suggesting that we are going to kidnap Tommy Lee, right? We're not saying that just because I can just see it now. Running around, on the internet. Everyone's going to be, oh, well, that over there at Radio Bry, he and his listeners are conspiring to kidnap Tommy Lee Gifford. Tommy Lee from, well, whatever. You're right. He did date Pamela Anderson. You'd think that would register in my mind a little more than it does. But we are not suggesting that we would go and kidnap him and drive him across the state and tell him, oh, look, you're in Canada. You win, guy. You win. Alec Baldwin will be right along. All right, the phone lines are now open. Don't forget, you can call us 833-MORTAL, and the numeral 1, because we believe you're the number one mortal. Also, the hieroglyphics of it, the chicken scratch, 833-667-8251. 833-667-8251. And Wayne, here's something else I wanted to mention, because I got into a little bit of a discussion earlier with someone that said, well, that the WHO comes out now and there's 30,000 or 300,000, whatever the number is, all these medical professionals, doctors, healthcare practitioners, and the like, signing petitions saying the lockdown is not a good idea, that the attacks on mental health, the attacks on your financial health, the attacks just on your overall well-being, the lockdown is only exacerbating that. It's only contributing to your malaise. And I think to myself, I've been saying